Auzu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. This talk of mine is meant for all those non-Muslim listeners who do not have a good information about the religion of Islam. And today I will try to give a concrete information of the religion of Islam to all of them so that they may understand what Islam is actually. It is said that Islam has been brought on this earth by the great Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who came here in the city of Mecca, which is situated in Saudi Arabia, some 1445 years before. It is true that he brought the religion of Islam, but it's not true that Islam was not there before him. We, the Muslims, have the Holy Quran as our religious book, which gives us a lot of information about various things, about the origin of man on this earth, about other all things which a person require for passing a very successful and peaceful life on this earth. And it is mentioned in the Holy Quran that God sent the humans on this earth, and the first person who was sent onto this earth was Adam, which we call also Hazrat Adam. God created him out of clay, and he was the first man who was first kept in Jannah, in paradise, but later on, due to some misdoings, he was shifted from the heavens onto the earth. And he was the first man as well as the first prophet which God sent onto this earth, and he was given a message which we call the message of Islam, for pleasing God by living on this earth. So the system of sending prophets onto this earth started from the prophet Adam, and later on God sent so many other prophets from time to time, like the prophet Ibrahim, prophet Moses, prophet Isa, and some other prophets onto this earth with a message which we call the message of Islam from time to time, for the people who were living in those times, and the prophets brought that message for the people to live a life in such a way so that they can please their Creator, the Almighty Allah. Because the Quran gives us the information that all the prophets which were sent here on in this world, they brought the message which we call the message of Islam. So Islam was there before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet. But before that, before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the other prophets who came in this world with their message, like Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and in it is mentioned in the hadith. Hadith is the saying of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is mentioned that God sent some 1,24,000 prophets on this earth from time to time with the same message which we call the message of Islam, which was the common factor of all these prophets. The common message of all these prophets was the message of the statement which we call La ilaha illallah, which means that there is no God but Allah. So this was the common factor of all the prophets who brought the message of God onto this earth for the people who were living in those days to follow that message, so that they can please their Creator, the Almighty Allah, and for the reward of which the Allah will reward them with Jannah, with paradise on the day of judgment. Now the question arises, why God has to send different prophets from time to time, and how we can say that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last prophet, and there is no need of sending some other prophets after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That I will explain, because the previous prophets who were sent by the Almighty Allah onto this earth, they were also given some books, some messages in the form of book for the people to follow those commandments, so that God will get pleased with them. But in the passage of time, the message of those prophets, was adulterated, and it didn't remain in its original form. And in a, for example, after the time of 100 years, 200 years, or some other periods, the message which the prophets brought for the people to follow was adulterated, and it didn't remain in its original form. But the same didn't happen with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was brought at the end of this system of sending prophets. Why? Because when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came onto this earth, it was the era of education. It was the era when people were seeking knowledge, when they were also seeking formal education in which they were in a position to read and write. And there were in almost all the societies of the world, there were some people who can read and who can write. So the message which was given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by the form of revelations which God revealed on him from time to time in a period of about 23 years, that message was brought into written in the form of a book which we call the Holy Quran, which is the religious book of Muslims. And so all the message which was sent to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was written down in the form of a book, which we call the Holy Quran, and which is also lying with us today. As that time was the era of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was the era of knowledge, was the era of education. So there was now least chance that this message could be adulterated, and because it was preserved and in a book form, and those books were circulated all through the world, and in this way the message of Allah which was given to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the form of Quran remained preserved in the form of book. Now this has been proved scientifically that what message was given to Prophet Muhammad at the time of his prophethood, that is some 1445 years before, is the same as is today lying with us. There has been some studies has been conducted on this Quran, and it has been found that the Quran is bit by bit the same which it was at the time of Prophet, is the same today lying with us. There are some other things like the miracle of number 19, which has proved that Quran is in the original form what it was at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is in the original form present at this time also, which is lying with us. So there was no need to send now some new prophet, because a new prophet was only sent because the message which the old prophet would have brought was being adulterated, and it was not being then found in its original form. So to rejuvenate the message of Allah needed to send some new prophet. But now with the case with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not like that, because the message which was sent by Almighty Allah to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is preserved in the form of Holy Quran. This is why Quran is called as the living miracle of Allah. And the Quran gives us the complete information, complete commandments, complete way how to be how to behave and how to live a very successful life, as a life which is full, where a person can get real satisfaction, real successful life, not only for this world, for the world after death also. This I'm not saying only in air. I request and I invite all my non-Muslim friends to go and to study the Holy Quran. When you will study the Holy Quran, you will definitely find it a very miraculous book, a book which you will find is really a divine book, and where you will find all the instructions which has been given by Almighty Allah to us through Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or those instructions which are really very, very fruitful and very, very successful for we people to lead a very successful and peaceful life. So, and one thing I would also like to mention, that God has taken the responsibility to preserve the message of Quran, to preserve his message, which is at this time preserved in the form of Quran, to preserve this Quran up to the end day, up to the day of judgment. God has taken the responsibility, and this is why there is no need of sending some new prophet, because the job of a prophet had always been there, that to bring the message of Allah to the people, and when it is in its original form present in the form of Holy Quran, so there is no need to send some new prophet, and we can read this book of Holy Quran and we can get the original message of God, which is meant for we people to lead a very successful life in this world, as well as successful life for the life after death. So I invite my non-Muslim friends to have a study of this Holy Quran, because Holy Quran is available throughout the world in almost all the languages at this time, because if it is not possible to read it in Arabic language, you can have its translations which are available in English and in almost all the other important languages of the world. You can get the copy of a Quran from market and or from net also. You can, if you will study the Quran, you will really get very much impressed by it, and you will really find it is a divine message from God, and it is meant for all the people to lead a very successful life, not only for this world but also for the world after death. So this I would also like to inform my non-Muslim friends that at this time a great number of people are converting to Islam when they read the message of Quran, and they get very much motivated and very much impressed by the divine nature of this book. And you might have heard that many great personalities from sports field, from scientific field, from students, from other businessmen, from all over the world, especially in US, in the European countries, in Japan, in Korea, and all other countries are converting to Islam when they read the message of Allah, which is present at this time in the form of Holy Quran. So I request and I invite all my non-Muslim friends to have a copy of Quran in the language in which they will be very much comfortable to understand it, and have its translation. And when you will read it, you will definitely get influenced and affected by it, and you will really find it a book which is a divine book, which is a message from the Almighty Allah, and which is containing the instructions for leading a very, very successful, peaceful, and a real successful life in this world. I would like to conclude this talk with this statement that at the time of World War II, the great philosopher George Bernard Shaw said that if there would have been a personality like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to assume the dictatorship of the present world, much of its problems would get solved so as to bring the much needed peace, prosperity to the whole world. So with this statement, I would like to conclude my talk with the request to my non-Muslim friends to get a copy of Holy Quran in a translation language which you can understand, and have a study of it, and you will definitely find this Quran a miraculous book, a divine book which will really change your lives, change to your life to that side which we can say is a very successful life for this world as well as for the life after death. Thanks.